So I don't know what happened with our intro. It didn't want to play. Let me try that again.
Welcome to the Rocket Rewind, the show where we get together and talk about things that matter, things that are interesting, and shit that might just blow your mind. Yeah, they're our opinions, and you don't have to like them. We might not like yours either, but feel free to share them in the live chat. This is America, where we have free speech, cancel culture, Karens and Darrens, all working together in such super sweet harmony. Yeah, right. Sometimes the things we talk about might help restore our faith in humanity, but all too often it's going to be stuff that might piss you off like it does us. Make sure you have your grown-up panties on and come join the conversation. Oh yeah, and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss this weekly dose of provocative discussion. The Rocket Rewind, Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's get into it. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey guys,
Hello.
how's everybody doing tonight?
Man, living that dream, Steve. How you feeling?
I feel better. I feel a lot better than I did on Monday.
So,
That's good.
even though it looks like it, Steve did not get his ass beat by the Colorado cops that he's always talking shit about.
They finally caught up to him.
Yeah, no, Steve's work injury flared up real bad, and he's got some neck injuries. He's about to have to undergo some serious pain management shit on. So,
At least that's a story, and he's sticking to it.
if he starts talking out like really weird shit, it's the pain meds talking. Just
That's
so you know.
right. That's a fact.
And hey, look who we got down here. Look at that.
Yeah,
We got-
I don't know which way to point. Which one of
We
these?
got a new person
see,
hopping in.
The other way. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's opposite.
What's up, everybody?
It always throws me off because see, I want to point this way because that's how it looks on my screen. But if I need to point to Stacy, I got to point this way. So yeah, we got Ace 2K7 in here with us tonight. He's been talking about wanting to join in for a little bit, and he finally had an opportunity to hop in with us tonight. So he was finishing up dinner right before we got started. So what'd you eat?
I was running over here. We had some fish and some rice. And
Oh,
steamed
man.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Caught freshly in Florida. It's pretty
Oh,
good.
I
well,
thought
heck
you were
yeah.
about to say caught freshly in Georgia.
Oh, no. No, I have family over and they actually brought it up. So
You're like 5 hours from a beach, man. Come on.
Oh wow! Hey, Calamity Girl, new subscriber popped in with us tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming over. It's good. Always good to have some new folks come in. Hopefully, we don't offend you too damn bad, but you know, no promises. We'll see. Let me see. I see Taylor Ray's here, of course. Chris Talbert's here in the chat. Stu Dorman's here having some chow mein. Megan D. Gaming, what's up, girl? There's Brooklyn with emergency response vids. See, Tyler Rocks. There is. Hey, there's Stacy's a guy gaming. Look at that. He's
Hey,
in
that
here with
guy.
us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna point the wrong way probably, but oh, there he is. Look,
Oh.
I did it right. I have
There's
to
that
get back.
found
freaking
him.
there's that leech.
Yeah, Jorge
Right there.
Gaming. Jorge Gaming is it's easy for you, Steve.
Easier for me.
It's
Ace
easy
is over there.
Let's
You're
see.
over there in this direction.
Jorge Gaming's here. Linda K, what's going on? Good to see you too, ma'am. Thank you for coming to hang out. We do appreciate that. Marcy B, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Corey Earlywine, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Corey. One day we might get We might get Corey on here. He said, "Who that be in the orange?"
Oh, that's Onyx's AI generated character.
Yeah,
He
That's
has
my-
now generated me.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's my cousin visiting.
Oh, that's our AI generated cash cow for custom.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Taylor's having some Domino's. Blade Studios, what's up, man? Good to see you too. So, as you know, most of what we talk about on here is some pretty difficult stuff to talk about. We've got a couple of videos that we're going to look at tonight, but our main story, there's no video because the cops turned their body camera off before they went to fuck these guys up. So we're going to be looking mainly at like the information submitted by their attorney and stuff, and kind of going through some of that. But it's some rough stuff. So if you have a queasy stomach, some of the things we're going to talk about on there, you might want to turn the volume down just a touch. I don't know. All right. So y'all ready to get into it, gentlemen?
Ready?
Let's give it a shot.
Hey, Nicholas, what's up, buddy? All right.
Real quick, I no longer have a roommate yelling in here, so you won't have to.
Oh, you got rid of him?
No,
You kicked him out?
He got fired. All right, carry
Okay.
on.
He got fired? If you fired your roommate?
He got separated from the Navy.
I hate it when that happens.
Okay.
I hate it when that happens. So Stacy submitted this one, and it's a pretty good one. This is a see if I can get it to share here. There we go. So we're pulling the body cam from Police Activities channel. Now I've suggested y'all subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. There's some good videos over there. But this one, this is an alleged bank robbery that happened at like a Wells Fargo. This is in Thornton,
Colorado?
Thornton, Colorado. Yep, it's a Wells Fargo bank. It's on Colorado Boulevard.
120th in Colorado. I'm very familiar with that area.
Yeah.
You don't rob any banks over there, right?
Yeah. We're not
No,
gonna. Is that why you're in the neck brace? Are you in this?
No,
video?
no.
Keep
When
talking
actually-
shit. You're gonna be in a leg brace.
Actually, when I used to live there was nothing up there. There was cornfields.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Ivan.
That's how long ago I lived there.
It gets like that. So here's a body cam for the responding officer. Now they're this is probably going to have our have this video come off of Facebook, just so you know. So if you're watching on Facebook and all of a sudden the stream ends over there, come on over to YouTube, because Facebook likes to pull my shit down for some reason. And this
They
is
don't
gonna
like the
be-
truth.
Yeah, they don't like
They don't like the
hard
truth.
to see. I mean, you know, it's I mean, the news is ugly sometimes. I mean, I can't help it.
Hey, the news is what it is, man. You can't manipulate that. Well, actually, they try, but yeah.
Well, I was about to say, it depends on what network you're talking about.
Right.
All right, so here we go. This is from Police Activity. Make sure you go give their channel a follow.
Officers, continue to hear information, otherwise I'm going to terminate it.
Passing Roseberry, eastbound on 88th. Speeds are 85. Traffic is light.
Like Commerce City, please. I've got Johnny with me.
No, they do not, Linda. Not at all.
212 and 312 are jumping to the area, 88 in Colorado as well. This is your...
Hey! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Who the fuck's he talking to?
111, shots fired! Shots fired!
He's just hollering it out. He ain't even on his radio.
Wait.
111, shots fired! Shots fired! He's got a shotgun!
Oh, shit.
What the hell's he shooting at?
There's a person right next to
Get
the
down!
car.
Drop the gun!
Oh, he hits him.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
I love
Get
it.
on
He
the
wants
ground!
help.
Get on the ground!
Of
Get
course
on
he
the
wants
ground!
help.
Get on the ground! Get your hands out! Get your hands out! I don't see another person in the car.
Yeah.
Don't fucking fucking move. Hands on in front of you now. Moving in the front. Moving in the front. I think that's the airbag.
Give a shit.
No, he's moving. He's moving. You in the car. Put your hands up.
I think it was a male and a female.
Put your hands up. You in the car. Police are under arrest.
Stage medical in the area.
Watch him. Police are under arrest. Highway 288. We got one down on the ground. One in the car still. 111. We got one in the car that's not responding to commands. Shotgun is still in the car. I'll shoot you.
All right, this is the other shot.
Oh, I guess they could hear him.
Get down. Drop the gun. 411. More shots fired.
What's up, Tristan? Welcome. Good to see you.
Get on the ground! Police, get on the ground! Do it now! Get your hands up! Get your hands out like an airplane! Get your hands out! Get your hands out! Get on the ground! Get your hands out! Get your hands out! I don't see another person. Move, hands out in front of you now! Put your hands out! Moving in the front, moving in the front.
So-
Moving in the front!
So according to the info here, it was, of course, they fled. Surprise, surprise, right? It was a male and a female that had displayed guns while walking into the bank. An officer that was in the area saw a vehicle leaving the bank, high rate of speed. Other units initiated a pursuit. The fleeing vehicle, which was later determined to be stolen, because let's not do one crime at a time. Let's put multiples, right? Anyway,
It is Colorado.
they drove to the intersection of 88th Avenue and Highway 2 in Commerce City, where it drove.
Oh my God! Right in the ghetto.
Yeah, it drove against traffic, and they did crash into that white truck that was there. The male suspect exited the stolen car, and shots were fired. Both adult male and adult female were injured in the incident. The male suspect fled on foot and attempted to carjack another vehicle. The male and female were taken into custody and transported to area hospitals with injuries from the incidents. 2 firearms were recovered from the scene. The driver was Angel Matthew Gallegos. Yeah. Charged with second-degree kidnapping, first-degree assault, aggravated robbery, second-degree assault, vehicular eluding, and menacing, among other charges. The female suspect, April Destiny Martinez, is still being treated for her injuries and is facing federal charges for her involvement. But this occurred on December the 27th of 2022. So that is... I'm not sure where I'm kind of like you there, Megan. I'm not quite clear where the kidnapping part comes in.
So there's some states, for example, I know in Florida, even if in the same building, I don't know about Colorado. I know in Florida that if you hold someone at gunpoint and you force them from one room to another, it's kidnapping.
Okay.
It's kidnapping on each count.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I like Megan's comment. If I get my hands out like an airplane, can I make the noises too?
You can.
Yeah.
If you ever get pulled over by the cops and held at gunpoint, Megan, and they tell you to put your arms out, just put them out like that. Go, meow, do it like that.
You know how hard it is to sound manly and yell commands while it sound like you're talking to a 2-year-old?
I know. I might
put your arms out like an airplane right now.
I might have to test that out.
Like an airplane.
Oh, then they might would have to swap over and be like, okay, let's all sit crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
No one applesauce.
We're gonna play house. I'm handcuffed. Roman Polanski house.
So all right. So in this video now, it's a bank robbery. So it's kind of an all hands on deck kind of thing, right?
Yep.
I don't know whether the officers could have done anything differently. As soon as the guy opened the door with the gun, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah, Yeah.
accepts.
Just take him out. I mean, armed bank robbery. I mean, at this point, he's running for his life, and he wants to keep what he's got. He's going to take anybody out. He's going to try and stop him. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You open fire on the guy, and if he, if he dies, he dies. I don't know what else to say on that one. I mean,
Well, I mean, because it's one of those things where it's what in their mind at that moment, they've got a lot to lose by going to jail, and if they can escape, if he could take the officer out and get in another vehicle and haul ass, he has a chance of getting away, and I guess that's what's running through their mind.
Not a good thought process.
I don't know.
I mean, first off, you go to jail in Colorado, you're probably going to end up going to state prison over off of the hell's that, Kipling and 285 over there.
Oh
yeah,
I know right where that's at.
Well, the thing is that's a federal prison for Colorado, and that's where they had Timothy McVeigh.
Oh shit!
So they throw all the high profile guys over there. So I mean, it ain't no easy time over there. That's a high level prison over there.
Kind of like the crazy shit you hear about the tombs in New York, right?
Yeah.
Krista, welcome to the stream.
Did they get away with any money?
It actually didn't say anything in here about any money.
That's because that's when the cops turned off their body cam videos and put it in the trunk of their cars and went home with it.
Yeah, it
there wasn't any money. It's the weirdest thing. They robbed the bank. There was no money.
Well, now it said that they displayed guns while walking into the bank.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was wondering. That's why I was wondering.
I don't know if they actually got anything, but they are called bank robbery suspects. So
I'm wondering if they got cold feet and left. I don't know Colorado State. You know what? You guys do your thing. I'm gonna look up the Colorado kidnapping laws. There's a lot of bylaws on it too.
So hold on, something's going on in Washington D.C. right now. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah.
Breaking
news. What you seeing, Onyx?
Equipment fire.
Okay.
All flights in Washington.
Okay. The flights are shut down. There's a fire at the communication tower at the airport. No planes are allowed to take off or land until further notice. All flights grounded for the DC area airports.
Okay. Unless first-degree kidnapping, second-degree kidnapping always involves movement of the victim, even if it is a very short distance. If the victim is not moved and is kept only a short time, it is usually false imprisonment under whatever the law is. A similar but less serious crime.
What up, Colonel Indiana Longnuts and Southpaw? Welcome to the stream, y'all. Good to see y'all. So Dulles Airport, Baltimore Washington International, Richmond International, those are shut down right now.
Oh no.
Well, although it looks like departures to DC area airports have resumed and repairs to the communications power panel are complete. Backup systems are handling communication safely. Normal operations are starting to resume. So it looks like they got that under control quick. So that's good. That is a plus. So here's the tough one. Here's a tough one we were going to talk about tonight. I pulled this. Now, this is from, of course, this made it national news. Associated Press picked it up and it went national. But let me get it up on the screen here. So this occurred. Let me see if they have the actual time frame in here. January the 24th. Is when this happened. So this is in Rankin County, Mississippi. Deputies were under investigation for some excessive force possibilities, and more information started coming out. And what we're going to look at today is a letter that was written to the Justice Department by an attorney representing these guys, that's going to allege some pretty heinous things. But here's the kicker, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about body cam footage, right? I feel like body cam footage should be readily available.
We're paying for it.
To citizens. Yeah, we're paying for it with taxes. How else are you going to have a transparent government and be able to hold people accountable if they get to pick and choose when you can see the shit they do wrong?
You don't. That's a dictatorship.
Right. And so I'm all for the whole body cam thing. And I actually think that it should be a crime, not just against policy, but I think it should be a crime for officers to turn off their body camera.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I feel like that's destruction of evidence.
All right.
Yeah, and not to jump into that topic, but I was reading earlier, Attorney Griffin Sykes from Alabama. He said in that the article about Alabama's new body cam law. He said that if the officer did their job the way they were supposed to, then what's the issue with giving us the body cam footage?
Exactly. And I feel the same way. I mean, I don't think the whole world needs to be on a police officer witch hunt or anything like that. But I mean, we, like any job out there, we need to weed out the turds, because you're dealing with some very important things when you're in law enforcement. You're dealing with somebody's freedom, and you could potentially be dealing with somebody's life. Those are two very important things in this country, and I just think free reign with no transparency and accountability is a bad idea. So here's what's alleged. I'll give you the brief synopsis that the mainstream media put out, right? So the allegations are contained in a letter to the Justice Department that's written by Michael Corey Jenkins's attorney. That's one of the guys that this happened to. The attorney, Malik Shabazz, urges federal prosecutors to file civil rights charges against these 6 deputies in Rankin County, Mississippi, and open a broader investigation into what he called the unconstitutional customs and practices of the entire sheriff's office. Jenkins has accused 6 deputies of bursting into a home where he was visiting a friend on January the 24th, putting a gun in his mouth, and firing it after nearly 2 hours of other torture.
Oh, wait a sec. Did he kill the guy?
No, it didn't kill him. Didn't kill him.
So what, I guess he shot through
his cheek.
Yeah, I was going to say, he shot through his cheek or what?
Yeah, shot him shot through his mouth. Yeah. So
Jesus, dude.
Now that's the brief overview, right? That's the news media doesn't go into a whole lot of detail, and
that's the lighthearted part.
Yeah, so that's the surface. Now let's scratch a little deeper, right? Here is the statement of facts that that the attorney Shabazz has sent to the Department of Justice. And I give you fair warning right now, there's some real sick shit alleged in this. But here's the problem. The body cams were turned off. 6 deputies rolled up to this house, and from what I understand, they got a tip that there might be some narcotics activity. Okay, fine. If there's narcotics activity, set up surveillance, do what you got to do to get the actual evidence, get a search warrant, show up over there, search the house, do shit the right way, send criminals to jail. Right? But that's not what these guys did. These 6 deputies rolled up like some kind of crazed motorcycle gang, from what this alleges, of course, turned their body cams off, burst into this house, beat the shit out of these guys, and then did even worse things. So let's get into it. Have you seen any of this, Ace?
Not yet. I heard about it, but I haven't.
Well, so it happened on January the 24th, 2023. And the attorneys are asking for hate crimes and federal criminal charges against these deputies, because it was 6 white deputies, 2 black guys that they burst in the house on. Michael Jenkins is one of the guys, and Eddie Parker is the other that was in this house. So what's alleged is that they illegally raided the private residence where Eddie Parker and Michael Corey Jenkins were lawfully residing. Deputies forcibly entered the residence, did not possess a valid warrant. According to eyewitnesses, the identity of these 6 officers included, and they only know 3 of them right now, Rankin County Deputy Brett McAlpin, Rankin County Deputy Christian Dedman, and Rankin County Deputy Hunter Edward. Rankin County, Mississippi, and I'm not sure what all goes into filing or convincing the DOJ to take something as a hate crime. I'm sure they have some kind of like a group of things that have to occur for something to be considered a hate crime. And I know race being one of them, but there's other protected classes too. But they lay out in this the breakdown of the census data. Rankin County, Mississippi is 73.5% white, 21% black, according to 2019 data. Now, for those of you that don't know where Rankin County is, it's near Jackson, Mississippi. It's near the state capital, about center of the state for the most part. You've got some counties around there that have a much larger black population, but Rankin County is a larger white population. So allegedly, Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker were the only 2 black guys that lived within a 2-mile area, or a 2-mile, like a 2-mile radius of this location where this happened. So it sounds like they lived in a predominantly white area, right? Rankin County deputies forced their entry into the premises from several entry points without a warrant. The 6 deputies promptly subdued and handcuffed both Jenkins and Parker. At this point, neither of them resisted, ran away from, or tried to oppose the deputies in any way. And then this takes place for 2 hours, mind you. These cops are in this house with this stuff happening for 2 hours. Of course, they say that they completely complied. We don't know because there's no body cam footage, right? And like I said, that should be a crime in and of itself. The Rankin County deputies, while they had them in custody, they called them the N-word, called them monkeys, other specific racial slurs. The deputies accused the black guys of dating white women and having committed other racial violations. What the fuck is a racial violation?
So what did these guys do that was so bad?
Well,
these cops to go in there and just bust these guys up.
There was a tip that there was narcotics.
There was a tip that this might be a drug house.
Yeah.
So they're going to go in there and they're going to do all this gnarly stuff to these guys. That ain't right, man.
Well, but now I feel like the cops knew a little more info than just this might be narcotics. Because why would they come in there accusing them of dating white women? Unless they already
How would they
knew.
know that unless they already knew?
What business is it of theirs anyway?
Well, I agree, but after you see the other shit that's included in here, you're going to understand that if this is true, these 6 cops are basically neo-Nazis. I mean, that's basically what it comes out to be like, right? So they intentionally and freely used random racial epithets during all actions described over the course of nearly 2 hours. All 6 of the deputies remained in complete control of the victims for the entirety of the 2-hour violent occurrence. Without cause or justification, Rankin County deputies began punching and slapping their handcuffed African-American victims. That's excessive force. You don't hit a handcuffed person. You don't need to. What's up, Wiz? Throughout the 2-hour ordeal, they would punch or slap the 2 handcuffed men at will, hurting and humiliating both Jenkins and Parker. Deputies also repeatedly and gratuitously kicked the men as if they were animals while they lay subdued and handcuffed. And while we're at this point, let me just remind you, of course, this is a letter sent by these 2 guys' attorney to the Department of Justice. These are all allegations. It would be real easy to say, yes, it's true, or no, it's not true, if the cops hadn't turned off their body cam footage. So this is one of those things where no matter which side of the law enforcement thing you're on, the body cam footage was needed here. Right. Because
if they had it, they would have put it out so quickly too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, if body cam footage always comes out fast if it vindicates law
If
enforcement.
it helps them, yep.
It comes out slow if it makes them look bad, and that's, you know.
I've always said the first thing said text the elevator. The truth takes the stairs.
Yeah. It does take a little time, and it's a lot harder. So throughout the course of this 2-hour event, it says that they escalated their excessive force. They fired tasers on them. They engaged in a sadistic contest with each other as to which taser would be most effective when fired at the victims. Deputies are believed to have fired their taser 20 to 30 times on the two victims. No evidence indicates that the victims offered any resistance. They were tased while handcuffed. There's some heavily redacted taser reports from the sheriff's department that verify the timeline and support this part of the allegation here. Waterboarding acts. During this prolonged torture session, both men in complete custody and control were also subject to waterboarding techniques by the deputies, including McAlpin, Dedman, and Edward. Deputies tried to coerce the men ostensibly to elicit a confession from them in their custody. The items used to conduct the deputies' waterboarding acts were liquids obtained from the premises. Rankin County deputies waterboarded the men by placing the handcuffed men on their backs and pouring liquids in their mouth and on their faces. What?
Well, I mean, you do stuff like that for terrorists. You don't do that stuff for a couple of guys, you know.
It was milk. They were pouring milk on them.
Milk? Yeah. Well, it does the body good.
Here's where it gets even worse. Sexual acts. As if what has been stated herein is not outrageous enough, it's a confirmed fact that these 6 deputies, including McAlpin, Dedman, and Elward, attempted to use a dildo or sexual device. We probably just got kicked off of Facebook. By Facebook. Anyway, they used a dildo or other sexual device against
Jenkins like and first Parker.
Time. Yeah. Photographic. So it says photographic evidence confirms that a dildo or sexual device was used by deputies at the crime scene. Now, let me go down here. I want to see what this number 8 is. So it says, see attachment 2, exhibit 5. There's no attachments to this. Okay, so that's probably a good thing.
You got to download it?
No. I'm sure it was included for the DOJ, but it wasn't released.
Oh, okay.
Stacy went to check and make sure we were on Facebook.
Yeah, do that because, you know.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah. So both victims, but it's photographic evidence, so I don't really know. But anyway, both victims informed the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation that deputies possessed the dildo, and they were attempting to use a sexual device on both of them, and that except for the victims defecating on themselves,
oh my God,
these sexual devices would have been inserted into their anal cavities by the deputies. On top of this outrage, the 6 deputies, in a very juvenile and bizarre manner, hurled eggs at the handcuffed men while calling them racial slurs. These eggs, which deputies threw, repeatedly hit both Jenkins and Parker and left residue and markings all over the walls at the crime scene. What the fuck?
What are they doing in there?
So
these guys are crazy.
Now, and I'm from Mississippi originally, not Rankin County.
I knew there was a small part of you I didn't like.
And it was commonplace for, of course, this is going to sound horrible, but it was commonplace for white people to be racist. in the area I grew up in.
Was that back in the day, or was it even today?
It still continues some today.
Mhm.
I thankfully grew out of that and realized that's stupid. But when you're a kid and you're living in that area and it's normal, the scary thing is I could have turned out that way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I can see this happening. I know it sounds really out there, but just knowing how some parts of Mississippi are,
Yeah.
I mean, now you got to understand. When I say I grew up in Mississippi, I mean I'm in my late 40s, right? So, you know, the shit that I used to not realize. I don't want to say I thought it was okay, but I didn't realize it was wrong because it was
It's part of
normal.
everyday life, right?
It was quote unquote normal in the area. And I'll tell you, because I grew up in a little bitty country ass town, had 2 stoplights, right? I didn't know shit. What really started waking me up to how to treat other normal human beings was 2 things that helped with that. One was church. Thank you, Jesus. And 2 was moving to a bigger city like Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Where you can see a whole mixing pot of people, right? But it's scary, and this is all believable because I know how some parts of Mississippi can be. Now, but I also have to tell you, I really didn't think Rankin County was like this. I thought Rankin County had a much better mix of races. I didn't realize it was so heavily white. But I mean, I never lived there, but I can see this happening, and that's what's scary, is that you want to read this stuff and you want to think, how can another human being do that to somebody else?
Yeah.
But if they were raised up hearing the hate that some of us heard when we were kids, they very well could really feel that way. So let's dive a little deeper into these allegations, because it gets even worse. It keeps going. This ain't it. Now, this thing's 15 pages. We're probably not gonna be able to get to all of this. In an effort to sanitize their acts in the middle of this encounter, Rankin County deputies ordered both of the men to strip naked and shower together. Both men were forced by deputies to shower naked in the same shower stall, or they would face punishment.
What does this have to do with an arrest?
Is this still in the house?
Yeah,
this is all taking place.
This is still in the house. What the
hell? Okay, threats to kill. During this prolonged kidnapping of Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Parker, Rankin County deputies repeatedly placed guns to the heads of both men and threatened to kill both of them. While pointing guns at their heads and threatening to kill them, visceral racial slurs were used by the deputies. Then there was an attempt to murder Michael Jenkins. At the crescendo of this nearly 2-hour torture session, Rankin County deputy shoved his service weapon inside Michael Jenkins' mouth while he was handcuffed, spoke angrily at him, and then shot him inside his mouth, almost killing him. The deputy's gunshot shattered Michael's jaw and severely lacerated his tongue. Several of his arteries were severely damaged, and he almost died.
Good God Almighty.
The Rankin County deputy fired his shot with malice aforethought, and he intended to kill Corey Jenkins. At no point did Jenkins commit any act to warrant such cruel, physical, and deadly force. I mean, he was handcuffed. What kind of fucking threat could he have been?
So what would these guys have done if they ended up killing these 2 guys, and then their supervisor shows up and they're handcuffed naked in the freaking shower, shot in the face?
They would have been unhandcuffed and land somewhere else.
This is just this is an absolute. This is a joke. Like these guys, I hope something happened to these guys.
This is horrendous. But see, here's the scary part. There's no body camera footage, right?
Yeah.
Now there's going to be some physical evidence, hopefully. I mean, there's apparently there was some photographic evidence attached to this thing sent to the DOJ.
So it's a he said kind of a thing.
Yeah, he said kind of thing. You got six deputies against 2 alleged criminals that were dope dealers. Is how that's going to get played out.
I want to see how they're going to explain the shot, though. Like, how do you explain shooting somebody from inside their mouth? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
if they could prove that the bullet.
He tried to grab my gun with his mouth. That's the only logical.
Yeah, that's going to be. So there's definitely going to be some physical evidence that would corroborate that story. You would have gunpowder residue, possibly burn marks, all that stuff, contact wounds inside the mouth. So that should be fairly easy to prove. And Megan's got a good point. I can't imagine if there was footage and someone had to view it. Me either.
That would be pretty incriminating, I'll tell you that.
I mean, it's fairly traumatic to even read this.
Yeah.
It's putting Stacy to sleep.
No, that's not you guys. That's
that big.
I'm not allowed to say what it is. Yeah, it's you guys.
That's that big T-bone steak you had for dinner, wasn't it? Was that a T-bone steak or was that a big ass pork chop? No, I didn't zoom in on it.
It was a steak.
Hey, take this with you.
Now I'm gonna tell you it was tough. It was not
well,
great.
Yeah, T-bones, if they're real thin, they can be tough, real
You didn't
easy.
see me smothered in barbecue sauce.
So let's see. So once the deputy shot Mr. Jenkins in the mouth, he was left alone to care for and treat himself. The deputies there's some typos in here. I'm assuming it's supposed to be they would not assist him in any way. For 20 or more minutes, each deputy consciously and deliberately disregarded their duty to render medical attention to him. He got medical attention when EMS arrived. Then they took him to the University of Mississippi Medical Center and underwent multiple life-saving surgeries.
I have a feeling that's what this is going to come down to. It's going to come down to like records from the hospital showing what had to be done to save his life. If only for him. I don't know about the Parker, but as far as Jenkins, that's what's going to have to. That's what's going to have to be incriminating on them as well.
Well, I mean, and I don't know if they would have tried any kind of a rape kit. If they tried to insert anything, there should be some trauma that should be noted.
Yeah.
But they even treated Rankin County deputies. It says here even treated Jenkins's mother and father and other advocates in an insulting and callous manner at the hospital. Under the pretense that he had committed crimes, Rankin law enforcement denied access to his parents while he was in intensive care and while critical medical decisions were being made. Only after said legal counsel got involved was Michael treated humanely by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department at University Medical Center. He has suffered permanent cognitive damage, psychological damage, permanent disfigurement, and impairment. One side of his face suffers permanent nerve damage and numbness. He will be adversely affected for the rest of his life because of what racist deputies under the color of law wantonly have done in Mississippi. Parker suffered injuries from his mistreatment and sought prompt medical attention. He was traumatized by a nearly 2-hour torturous event and has suffered. Moreover, Parker shall suffer psychological damage due to these outrageous acts. It sounds like Jenkins caught the worst of it.
Yeah.
I'll say the guy got shot in the face.
I don't know how it is in Mississippi. Number 24, that took paragraph 24. That took me. So in South Carolina, I was a security guard at hospitals there. If the police come in and say no one is allowed to see this person, now unless that person's there, like for like murder, like something heinous, If the hospital says that their family can see them, we have to let them see them. That's South Carolina, so I guess that's just the way Mississippi does it. But
Well, I can tell you in Mississippi, whatever the cops tell the hospital is what the hospital's going to do.
okay.
If they're technically in custody,
Yeah.
then I mean, unless it's I mean, now medically, I think they still have to get some family involved, but they don't necessarily have to let them see them if they have to make decisions on the DNR.
Okay. I didn't realize that's what that was. Okay, so I'm misreading. I
Yeah.
thought it was in case the family had to make a decision. That's why they're not letting them see them. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. But in order to make an informed decision as a family member, wouldn't you want to lay eyes on your loved one and kind of get a feel for how they look and how they're doing? And
yeah, because like you can have the hospital saying, "Oh yeah, he's not going to make it. You guys need to make a choice. Pull the plug. Let him live."
right,
Well, he's probably in there sipping mojitos and he's fine.
exactly.
So I want to make a point real quick. So if these guys are technically in custody, that means that the officers and the department who have the guy in custody are responsible for his safety and well-being.
Yep.
Okay, so if this kind of stuff is going on, we're talking like serious lawsuits for the state, for the county, for each individual sheriff, their families. There's a lot of shit that's going to happen with this.
Right.
And I hope it comes down like hellfire, because these two guys, although they may have been involved in selling dope, did not deserve this kind of treatment.
Well, and that's the thing. So even if they were, this is anything that would. This is the deputies fucked this whole scene up so bad that I don't even know that you could get a jury to convict these guys if they had people chained to the walls. If these two gentlemen had people chained to the walls in there, a jury would still probably not side with the cops on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is
uncalled for.
This is not only. I mean, I hope these guys face a very long time in jail over this, and obviously, they're gonna lose everything they got. So I mean, I don't know what they were thinking as far as how far can they get with this one. I mean, they probably didn't think that one out too well. But
like they were trying to just keep outdoing each other. Like,
yeah. What up, Rob Wilson? So, it does kind of sound like that. Like maybe these deputies were in some kind of a competition or something. But I mean, you know what this kind of behavior sounds like to me?
Racism.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's kind of shit that happens in high school.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of shit that used to happen with people wearing white robes and riding on horses.
You're talking about KKK stuff?
It was this is basically this.
Oh, there goes Facebook.
Facebook,
This all basically sounds like a scene from a fucking movie about white supremacists busting in a house and killing a couple of black guys. That's what this sounds like, the beginning of a movie. That's what it sounds like. It's that horrible. And what gets me is I want to believe that deputies wouldn't do something like this. I really want to believe that.
And so many of them too. Like, it's not like it's just one person there.
Right.
Yeah, and you're supposed to look up. You're supposed to look up to the people in the community who are deputies, and you're supposed to be there to serve and protect. And you got shit going on like this, and it's like, at that point, who do you trust? You can't just go to anybody in law enforcement anymore, because you don't know if this is the type of individual you're dealing with.
So
it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I can't imagine the fear that these guys had during this whole ordeal. I imagine they probably thought they were going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, who in their wildest dreams would think that deputies would come in and do this? okay, maybe deputies come in, they're a little gung-ho, maybe they beat your ass a little bit and drag you out in handcuffs or something like that, pepper spray you, tase you, something like that, right? But there's some serious allegations here, y'all. I mean, when I first looked over some of this stuff, I was like, no way. I mean, this sounds like a made for Netflix movie. It's just that bad. So they allege that Mr. Jenkins had a gun, but since the 25th, they haven't moved forward with charging him with possession of any kind of firearm or anything. He's saying he didn't have a gun. After he was shot, Jenkins told the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation that deputies threw down a stock barrel from a BB gun near his feet to justify the shootings.
We used to shoot ourselves with BB guns. What's that thing going to do?
Yeah. Deputies stole the computer hard drive that controlled the video monitoring system on the premises to cover up their misdeeds, which contains direct evidence of their actions. Our
that
criminal
right there makes you guilty.
So where is this? Where
Why would you
is
have a need
that
to do
video?
it?
All of these deputies are still on duty, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
In the article where this
Oh
where this file is contained in the article, it says that none of them have been punished or anything. They're still out there. What did he say? They're still out there running wild or something.
Yeah.
So it basically, is it the same group of guys that beat the hell out of that kid for he swerved and then they chased him down, they beat him until he died. He was sitting there screaming for his mother. Is it the same group of guys? Is that the same area?
That was in Memphis.
No.
That was Memphis.
That was in Memphis.
Okay, that was Memphis. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and see the
Scorpion
thing that,
unit.
and yeah, that was a Scorpion unit in Memphis. But see, but at the same time, there was not. This is all white deputies against two black guys. In Memphis, it was not that way.
I don't know if you've been reading the sub-paragraph notes, but at the bottom of the very first paragraph, it states that one of these deputies was actually involved in the murder or in the death of a previous suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, one of these was already under some federal civil rights investigation and stuff, but is still on the road.
And this happened in January, right?
Yeah, this happened in January. Here we are in
Yeah.
June.
They need to look at the sheriff too.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they
he's-
are. Yeah, they will. See, they've got. They said Sheriff Bailey.
You're not going to keep doing it if you think it's okay.
No, I would hope that internal affairs gets involved in this.
Well, so in the sheriff's department, the sheriff is like the ultimate. It's like the highest ranking elected official in the county. And so the sheriff oversees internal investigations also. But if he's allowed these guys to stay on the road, they at least should have been pulled off the road. Give them some administrative duties or something. Get them off the road until the investigation is complete. I just feel like there's some serious allegations here that the physical evidence should show some of this stuff. But these attorneys are going after some major stuff. The Hate Crimes Prevention Act, conspiracy against rights, deprivation of rights under code of law, pattern and practice. Because see, they're claiming that the sheriff knows this kind of shit goes on and lets it happen. So they are bringing the sheriff into it too. And so they're going after civil rights violations and hate crime, criminal is what they're asking for.
Good. Hope they get it.
Now they're also saying for state crimes, attempted murder, kidnapping, aggravated assault, attempted sexual battery, and criminal conspiracy. I mean, and all that makes sense. If what's alleged in here happened, there's some serious state and federal crimes here.
Here's my thing. This has just happened to be done by. But this goes beyond. To me, this goes beyond law enforcement being shitty. This is just people being shitty.
Yeah,
and they happen to be law enforcement.
Right.
This is. I'm sure there's good people in Rankin County. I don't know at Rankin County deputies. I don't know, but like this goes beyond law enforcement. It's just shitty people who. Because why did you need 6 people?
Well, I mean, I could see if it's an alleged drug house, I can see rolling up with 6 deputies. I can see that. And, if you had a warrant, I could see you entering in a SWAT team type fashion and taking quick control of everybody.
Yeah.
But that should have been it.
Yeah, but SWAT, if it was SWAT would have went in, grabbed him, and got him out.
Yeah, I mean, but even, that should have just been it. Make entry, get them detained, search the house, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that should have been it. It sounds like there was a lot more going on here. Like one or more of these deputies knew these guys and had an issue. Like maybe one of them messed around with somebody they know and they didn't like it, their sister or their ex or something, I mean, there's I feel like there's more to this.
Yeah, I think so too.
I couldn't imagine being in those guys' spot and feeling like you're about to lose your life. And if all these things going on and the things that they're saying and the way that they're treating them, to know I'm about to lose my life just because of the color of my skin has got to be horrible.
And also knowing that they're gonna probably get away with it too, like, because if they're doing it, it's like, who are you gonna call?
Yeah, if I
Can't
could,
call the sheriff on the sheriff.
No.
Well, and you said they were still on the street too. They're still holding their jobs. They're still on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize, I was always the one to, not in like a racist manner, but like I was always the one to like, crack jokes and, ha at the jokes and stuff like that. But like my eyes were open when my ex-wife is mixed, but if you saw her, you wouldn't know she's mixed. You think she's black. So like being out with her and just like the looks we would get, and this is in, it's easier to just say Nashville. And whenever we would leave, so in Nashville, it wasn't that uncommon for interracial couples to be a thing, whether white man with black woman or white woman with black man. It wasn't that uncommon. It's a major city. But when we would go to like, we were on our way to my parents' house in Charleston, and I think we stopped in, where did we stop? Baxter, Tennessee, middle of nowhere town. We stopped to eat in Huddle House, and they refused to serve us. Yeah. They were like, all our systems are down. And then as we're leaving, other people walk in and they sat them,
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's when my eyes opened to that. And that's why this kind of stuff, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm holding back because I don't want this channel to get in trouble. Like I'm holding back on the things that I could say.
Oh, I know. And I mean, I'm trying to treat it as gently as I can too. But I really thought Rankin County had more class than this. That's near a big city. We're not talking about a backwoods county. Rankin County has a lot of money and a lot of development. It is not a shitty little town. It is an area that should have some intelligence in their law enforcement community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ace over here looking at the map. He's like, Rankin County, my ass ain't driving through there.
I was looking at it. I'm like, all right, don't go through there.
No, let me go further.
Stay off I-55. Do not go that way.
I was literally just looking at it too.
He said, I'm going to take 75 all the way down to 95 and drop down to 10, and I'm going to go that way, and I'll go back up through Arkansas. I ain't
but I mean, hearing something like this, it's one of those things that I guess it would be more understandable if it was a little podunk ass backwoods county,
Yeah, like a small county with just a couple deputies.
Yeah, where it was like, you hear a couple of those. It's like with some of the allegations they had down there with Brookside, Alabama.
Don't get me started.
Oh God, I know. But where Brookside, Alabama, some of those cops would tell black people, don't come through here. You better get out of here before it gets dark, or something's gonna happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see some small town or some small county being like that, but Rankin County, I'm serious, man. I thought it was above that. I really thought it was above that. But I mean, I'm a white guy. I've never had to experience any of that. I've never been treated differently because of the color of my skin.
You've been in the wrong states.
Well, now I'm talking about in general, right?
You're too acceptable for this area. Get out of here.
No, I mean I've had folks from other races that have treated me shitty because I'm white, but not on a grand scale. It's been one or two here and there. It's nothing that, in other words, when I leave my house, I don't have to worry about, is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Because if it ever does happen, it's very rare. But I just can't imagine the shit that these two guys and this family is going to go through trying to prove this.
So what happened to the guys as far as did they ever get charged or?
No. They said their lawyers said that any pending charges are expected, proceedings are expected to stop against them.
Yeah.
That was mentioned in the letter. I caught it as we were.
Yeah, it's in there. They haven't filed any kind of. There's no criminal charges against him right now. I can tell you right now, probably the best thing for Rankin County is going to be come up with the big ass dollar amount to settle, because if this goes to trial and the shit starts coming out, it's just going to get uglier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if they took their DVR that was recording video on the premises. Yeah. Where's it at?
Here's my question. Nothing, and with today's technology, nothing is recorded without backup. The stock footage is stored somewhere. It's not I can put something on a hard drive and pull it out of my computer, but it's still in my computer somewhere.
Yeah, so the way my system works here, all of my video is backed up in the cloud. It's not even saved locally.
Yeah.
It's saved locally very temporarily until it passes it back up to the cloud. So if I needed to pull up video from here, it's not destructible.
Yeah, I can't afford more cloud space, or I'd have more video.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how far mine goes back. I don't think it goes back very far, but 30 days or so. But damn, I'm gonna tell you, if I see 6 deputies roll up at my house and I don't see the little blinking thing on their fucking body cam,
mm-hmm.
I'm hauling ass.
They're gonna beat you.
I'm turning on Facebook Live and sitting that shit in the corner.
Yeah, shit. But I mean, dude, this is 2023, man.
Yeah.
You just don't think this kind of shit's gonna happen in 2023.
Yeah.
Well, then again, it is 2023, and people get away with murder at this point in time.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, you got stuff like this happening all over the country. You got stuff, I mean, look what they were doing with the riots up in Portland, Oregon. I mean, none of those people were prosecuted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going on all over the country. This country's going to hell in a handbasket, and it ain't getting any better.
But
So-
and it's kind of like Stacy was saying, it's like these were just horrible people that happen to be cops.
Yeah.
And I do think that the number of horrible people in this country are growing.
Yeah.
People don't care about other people anymore.
Nope.
I think we've become a very deprived depraved society, unfortunately. Ace, you ever been to Mississippi?
I have not.
When I'm going,
So Mississippi is a beautiful state.
I was gonna say Pearl River's really nice.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful state. I've seen changes in Mississippi, growing up there and knowing how racist it used to be. I've seen that it's gotten better. But I'm, once again, I'm seeing that from the outside, looking in kind of thing. But Mississippi is a beautiful state. But I'm going to tell you, if you got to decide between Mississippi or Louisiana, I would always choose Louisiana because the food's better. The food's much better. But so, now you live in Georgia.
Yes.
It's a southern state. You came from up north. Do you notice a difference?
As far as the food, or
Well, no, I mean
or people?
on how you're treated because of the color of your skin, just from New York down to Georgia.
So when I was moving, like some of my family, they were like, "Wait, what? You're going to Georgia? Isn't that racist? Isn't it crazy down there?" Because like a lot of people like up north, they think everything
Everything
down
in the
here is
South.
crazy. But
Yeah.
I guess it kind of depends on where you live. So like I'm like probably about an hour from Atlanta. So honestly, around here, you're not gonna really experience anything crazy.
Well,
I'm sure
yes.
like if you end up in like some small tiny town, anything can happen.
So, that's kind of, now Atlanta's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And being an hour from Atlanta,
You're still in Atlanta.
you're still in Atlanta. It takes an hour to get anywhere in
Takes an hour
Atlanta.
to leave Atlanta.
Fun fact:
Or
it takes
get
an
to the
hour to
other
get from
side.
Atlanta to Atlanta.
Yeah. I grew up in a town where in this little city in Mississippi, it had like, I don't know, 50,000 people or so. And you could get from one side of it to the other in about 5 minutes. And that was including stops at red lights. Right. And so the first time I ever drove in Atlanta, I almost thought about giving up my driver's license and taking public transit. I'm
So-
serious,
He's
man.
like, get me on a bus. Get
It's
me
funny
on
you mentioned
something.
public transit because he was saying where he's from. That's how people look at the South. For some reason, I decided to go to New York City on a whim, just to spend the weekend there, and I was on the I think the E train, and I don't know why, but I decided to wear my Alabama shirt with my big red A on it, and everyone's like, I'm sitting on the
They're probably
subway,
like,
and
we
people
got a
are,
racist man.
people
Yeah.
are just like,
Yeah. Oh shit! Y'all watch out. He's from
"Get on our
Alabama.
train."
They
Like,
was watching you.
I was like, come on, man. Hey, so I'm not gonna say who, but I can actually verify with you after by sharing my screen. I'm not gonna do it on here. But I was just told by someone who works in that industry that Brookside has to take out loans to pay their dispatchers and police officers.
Oh, they don't have any money now.
Yeah.
I think the judge got unseated. The police chief got run off. I think all the cops pretty much got run off. It's like a whole rebuild of the department. But
Yeah.
I mean, how many officers does Brookside need? It's got a population of like 1,500 people, if that, right?
I actually think a little bit more now. Hold on, I'll look. It's not a very big area, no. So Brookside is like, it's really just a shortcut, honestly, from Birmingham to Gardendale. That's
Yeah. So, we'll follow this lawsuit. I want to kind of see how it turns out. I want to see what kind of evidence they're able to bring.
1,204.
1,204. Yeah, I knew it was little. These are some serious freaking allegations, man. Some serious allegations.
Well, and I hope it goes to trial. if it goes to trial and this stuff starts coming out, then maybe some of them will be held responsible for their actions and pay the piper, so to speak.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
otherwise they'll just still be out there.
Well, if you got cops like this running the streets, then you don't have cops, and that's just my opinion on it. You have thugs with guns and badges, and they can get away with murder. And
well, they're not
What means
helping.
that?
They're not doing it. These allegations and stuff that allegedly happened here, when these cops did this, they were not helping this community in any way.
No, they're not helping society. They're not helping community. They're not helping anybody in it.
And
They just need to go away.
Overall, they're giving a bad name to
Yeah.
LEO that like their job. For some reason, there's cops out there that like their job. And me personally, that's what I want to do when I get out. But like these guys, that's making it harder for these guys to do their job who like doing their job, because now everyone's going to think that this guy is like these guys.
Well, right. It's like,
That's
so
true.
yeah, it's like, you know, the one bad apple runs it for the whole bunch, right? So you see and you hear all these horrible things, and people start thinking all cops are like that. And it does. I'm surprised anybody wants to be in law enforcement anymore because of the shit that they catch. You know, there's some really good ass cops out there that really
There's
care
a lot
about
of
their
really good
community.
cops.
Yeah.
I know a lot of good cops in this area, and you know, to have stuff
Colorado.
like this go on in the country, it taints the name for every good cop out there, and
It does.
you can't have that because you need somebody to go to in the community if you need help. But yet, if you got corrupt people in the position, and who are you going to go to? You can't go to anybody.
I know. You don't know who to trust.
No,
How deep does this corruption run when you run into something like that,
and
right?
then when
Does
you
it go-
run, and you know, even if you have to go file a report, you have somebody come to the house, you don't know if that report's actually going to get filed. Or if
Yeah.
you go down to the police station and you say, I need to file a report, and they don't want to do it for you, then I mean,
Well, and that's where these guys and their family did it the right way. Get a lawyer.
right.
You've got to have somebody helping you fight a fight like this, because this is a big ass fight. You're fighting an entire sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't fun.
No.
That definitely ain't fun.
Especially
Especially if everybody in the sheriff's department's friends with the judge.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you never know.
I've run into that one before.
We really don't have enough time to dive into this other one, Steve, that I wanted to look at, the $9.3 million verdict.
Yeah.
I want to have a little more time on it, because there's some good stuff to break down on that one. But we talked about backwoods shit. Let me see if I can get this up here. Where was this?
Ding, 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 ding.
So is anybody familiar with Hamilton, Ohio?
Woohoo! Yep. I've been there.
No.
Okay, Hamilton, Ohio. So
Oh my God, no, not the wardenburger.
Yep.
I
I
remember
know the
this one.
wardenburger.
the Wardenburger.
That looks like it's got some oatmeal in it. So that's actually going to be a good burger.
So
Hold your breath, Steve.
so this is Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones, right? He said it's not made to taste bad, but he has a Wardenburger where if inmates are put in solitary confinement, sometimes it could be up to 10 days. They get this burger, this yummy burger right here, for all 3 meals for the entire time that they're in isolation.
Now, as long as there's lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickles on it.
You
Well,
hated all of that stuff.
Now let me tell you, right? So I grew up basically, my mom was a single mom, and we didn't have a whole lot of money, and a lot of times we didn't have burger buns. If we were going to have burgers, it was on this kind of bread. It was just on regular sandwich bread, right? So that part's pretty normal to me, right? I'm an adult, and I've had to do that the other day. We ran out of buns. Anyway.
It's the rice and roach patty in the middle that you're questioning.
Yeah, it's that patty in the middle. I'm looking at it, and it almost looks like
It looks like rice, oatmeal. There's probably some barbecue sauce or soy sauce on it.
Oh, that's rice.
That's what it looks like.
Looks like oatmeal to me.
So let me break it down. Let's see what it's got in it. It is made with tomato paste, flour, dry milk,
Okay.
oats,
Okay.
beans,
Okay.
ground turkey,
Okay.
cabbage,
Fuck off.
carrots,
Okay.
potatoes, onions, celery, and a pinch of salt. Rice is not listed in there, but I swear to God, that looks like rice to me.
Oh, that's the
What
oats.
the hell is?
That's going to be your that's going to be your oatmeal right there.
Well, this looks like the oatmeal.
Forgive me, but like,
This looks like the oatmeal right here. This part right here. But look at this right
oh,
here.
that's probably the cabbage.
Oh yeah, sliced up cabbage maybe. Yeah, because some of this looks like rice to me. But
Actually,
yeah,
looks pretty good.
The wizard said it's almost vegan.
Almost vegan, except for
If they
the
take out the turkey.
except for the turkey. So anyway, he said that he got with.
Hell, I'm eating it now.
Yeah, he's eating it. He actually ate it on the thing. Let me see.
Hey.
That's a fight.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey,
I was not expecting
it's
that.
bad, Albert.
Hey. All right, so let's see. I want to see what the sheriff said. Let me get this part. Let me wait till we get to the part with the sheriff.
Wait, pause that.
What?
Oh, on the sheriff.
I'm about to. All right, so this is coming from Fox 19 out of Ohio. Let's see if we can get.
The State Department of Corrections is not my boss, so I basically don't give two what they think.
That's Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
I don't give two shits what they think.
Yeah, the state Department of Corrections is not my boss, so I don't give two shits what they think.
No, that's Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
That's the sheriff, the highest.
Yeah.
He's the highest elected.
On Wednesday, we sat down with Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones and watched him eat this. It's no ordinary burger. It's what the sheriff calls a wardenburger. So you have zero complaints about the wardenburger?
Is it
Me
cooked?
personally, no. I would eat this. Hell, I'm eating it now.
The sheriff tells us he's been
Now,
You know, it's pretty damn funny. But then again, when it was laying on his desk, it didn't even look cooked.
no.
for all three meals for the last several years.
This is jail. You don't get to choose. Your mommy and your daddy
Hell, I'm
and your
eating it
Aunt
now.
Lily doesn't get to make your meals. I'm your aunt.
I don't give a
I'm
shit.
your grandpa. I'm the one that gets your meal
Look, I'm
prepared
eating
and make
now.
sure it gets done.
The sheriff says inmates get
Wow.
Nice hat, Stacy.
That is so funny.
Give me one of them
That's your
cabbage
Red
burgers.
Dead hat, right?
Yeah. So I would probably try to stay out of isolation if I was ever in the Butler County jail. Because
or hear me out. You could just try to stay out of jail.
well,
That's it.
yeah. I guess I could
steps.
try that first.
Baby steps.
So end up
I
eating my cabbage burger.
But you know, I mean, I get where he's coming from in a way. You know, he's passed it to a dietitian. It is healthy, you know, but come on now. I mean,
There's nothing bad in that burger.
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
the
It's
burger
just-
itself isn't bad. It's just
It's just
eating
those
it.
those
every
ingredients
single time.
combined into a patty is probably not good.
Well, and it's for every meal.
Yeah, 3
So
times a day.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every day that you're in isolation.
I mean,
that's
did it
what
give you
have.
ketchup at least?
Says you get that on the 2 slices of bread and all the water you want.
See,
That's
I grew up eating wish sandwiches,
Oh my
a bunch
God.
of shit mixed together in a pot. So I'd be like, "Hey, can I get another one of those?"
Yeah. I ate some things as a kid growing up being kind of poor that, I look back on now and I'm like, oh my God. Did you ever see that commercial about hungry kids that were having ketchup soup? It was basically watered down ketchup instead of actual real tomato soup. They just had watered down ketchup as soup or whatever.
No, I never saw that.
No.
Yeah. Well, my oldest daughter absolutely loves ketchup, right? And so as a kid, she saw that commercial. It was they were trying to raise money for some type of hunger drive, right? And she saw that about these kids eating ketchup soup, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds good. Can I have some ketchup soup?" She didn't realize, she just thought, "Ooh, ketchup, yeah."
Wizard makes a good point.
But I did grow up eating some things that, looking back on it now, I realize that, it was subpar stuff because we didn't have the money, but I also look back on it now knowing that my mom did what she could to at least get me something to eat, so it's one of them things.
There's a bright side because I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say she never fed me a wardenburger, though. Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah. No. You had a good mom.
Yeah.
My mom gave me she didn't give me Whataburger. She gave me Wannaburger. The shit she gave me was so nasty. It made me want a burger.
You wanted a burger?
Yeah, I wanted a burger. But, I mean, here's the thing. You got to look at it this way, man. Like Wizard said, you got to do what you can to make food out of nothing. And, chili mac is, the cheapest thing you can make. Like, $4 for, 6 boxes of mac and cheese. And, another $3 for, 3 cans of chili.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. So you get, depending on how many people you're feeding, you get a box of store brand hamburger helper, the Great Value or the Kroger brand hamburger helper, right? And it calls for a pound of hamburger meat. Here's the thing though, if you really wanted to, you could use 2 boxes and half a pound of hamburger meat. Yeah. Guarantee you nobody would notice it. Because there for a bit, when beef prices jumped way the fuck up, I was buying ground turkey, because beef was expensive. What's so funny?
The way Ace looked over, Ace is like, I'm gonna see if I can start feeding these kids cheaper.
Oh, no, my daughter opened the front door. I was like, why's she opening the door? She's getting a package.
But yeah, you can cook ground turkey in those things and not even realize it's turkey. I mean, you think it was beef in your cheeseburger.
I have made turkey burgers and not told people they were turkey burgers.
Yeah, but now turkey
was cheaper than beef at the time.
Yeah, now it's not. Now it's all freaking expensive. But I did pull it off for a little while. I snuck it in on my fam over here, and they didn't even realize it.
Y'all had Thanksgiving dinner, and they're like, "Wait a minute, this bird tastes like them burgers we've been eating all year."
Yeah, gobble gobble gobble. Oh Lord, yeah. But yeah. So Will says there's been times he had plain pasta with just butter. I used to. One of the delicacies of a poor kid in Mississippi was cooking some rice and putting some butter and some sugar on it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
White rice with butter and sugar on it.
What's that do?
HR has entered the chat. We need to have a talk.
It's yummy.
It's yummy?
Yeah, it was yummy.
We used to make they called it goulash, but it wasn't goulash. We just take the elbow noodles, some canned tomatoes, ground beef, corn, and that was it. That was dinner for 2 nights. But I mean, it kept me fed. When I had my apartment, I don't think I ever spent more than $100 a month on groceries, because I'd make a big pot of spaghetti every week and eat off of that, or I'd make a big pot of chili mac every week and eat off of that.
How many years ago was that? Because I went to the store the other day. I bought 4 things. It was $100.
That's because you buy fucking Gucci milk.
Gucci yeah, there you go. Linda K. Rice pudding redneck style. That's basically what it is. Dude, when you're broke as fuck and hungry, you'll eat whatever.
Currently in progress. What are you talking about? What do you mean when?
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand. My mom was a single mom. We lived in low income apartments while she was trying to put herself through nursing school, and she struggled. She was a cashier at Piggly Wiggly, and going to nursing school.
The Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, the Hoggly Woggly. But
about that.
But she did. She worked her ass off. She got herself to nursing school, and then then we got real food again. I mean, I wasn't starving. Don't think that my mom starved me or I never had good food or anything. But it's, it was a lot of, catching things as cheap as she could. We wouldn't get the thick cut pork chops. We had the thin cut pork chops that were cheaper. It's just things like that. She'd make shake and bake pork chops, and they'd be so thin it was mostly shake and bake and hardly any pork chop. But
Onyx is like, and I helped.
It was shake and bake, and I helped. Yeah, but she, it's one of them things. But she never fed me a fucking wardenburger. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Thank God. So I think that's probably about everything we got time to get to today. Y'all got any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
I want to hear more about this $9 million lawsuit thing. Can we get a little taste of it for next show?
Yes, and hopefully we can cover it on next show. But yeah, so just a brief overview of it is this poor fella decides to walk into a White Castle and ask for directions, and the next thing he knows, a cop is beating the ever living fuck out of him out in the parking lot and breaks multiple bones in his foot and other places, and ends up costing his city $9.3 million in a lawsuit.
Woo! Well, let's look at the bright side. If he would have went to Crystals, he wouldn't have $9.3 million.
I guess so.
It's true.
He got paid.
Yep. So I guess if I'm ever going to ask for directions, I'm going to try to stop at a White Castle and see if I can make that turn into $9.3 million.
I can't wait to show that video next week. It's going to be
and I do
interesting.
It is. I do want to show the video from this lawyer's channel, because it's somebody else that I subscribe to. This is a really good attorney on YouTube to subscribe to. I do want to do a show where I point out a few attorneys that are on here. If y'all are interested in legal topics, 1 week soon, I want to highlight some attorneys' channels that I subscribe to that I think would be good for you. To kind of, it's always important to know your rights, and that kind of stuff.
It's always important to know your rights.
Yeah, exactly. Ace, I'm glad you got to join us, man.
Yeah, I had a good time. I'm happy I was finally able to join.
Yeah, me too, man. Hopefully you can be on with us pretty regular.
Mm-hmm.
It only took 23 episodes. But whatever.
I know. Jesus Christ. He shows up on episode 22.
It took half a year.
Yeah.
Wanting to jump on our success now, huh?
Yes. Actually, let me look.
We made the whole stream without being pulled off Facebook.
All right, my 23rd wedding anniversary is the 1st, and Sunday falls on the 2nd. I don't think we're going to be out of town, though. So as of right now, we're still looking at having a show that week. The next week, though, the 9th, that should be cool. There's a possibility I'm going to be out of town the weekend of the 16th, though. I might be in Mississippi, but I ain't gonna stop in Rankin County.
Hope not.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your body cam, bud.
Yeah, Jesus. Look, speaking of body camera, right? So I thought I was gonna get pulled over the other day, out on Highway 53 here. A sheriff's deputy. Soon as I passed him, and I was speeding. I ain't gonna bullshit. I was a little over the speed limit. Not bad, not like reckless driving speeding, but I was a little over the speed limit. Anyway, he hits the little cut through lane, and I'm like, fuck, he's about to turn around on me. So I reached over there, and I had my body cam sitting on the thing. So I held down the button, and I'm like, turned it on. I had that son bitch ready. I was getting ready to set it up on the dash. I was like, shit.
Deputy was like, that's that Rock City News fella. I'm going to get that son bitch a Wardenburger right now.
But he just pulled in there and crossed over and went down the road. So he was headed either to a call or something. I don't know. He didn't have his lights on. I thought he was turning around on me, and I was like, boy, here we go. Here we go.
Ain't nothing more of an adrenaline rush when you see a cop flip a U-turn in your rearview mirror.
Yes.
And he speeds up to get up real close to you. Had that happen a couple times. South Colorado.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, I think that's going to do it. Any other closing thoughts before we haul ass?
Nope.
I'm about to go have me a burger, but it's not a wardenburger.
Heck yeah.
This one I actually cooked on the grill. Now it's a frozen burger patty from Kroger. It's a Kroger burger. So it's not much better than that. But
I just went and got a whole tube of ground prime rib. I take that sucker and I make burgers out of that.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'm balling on a budget right now. I could only afford them frozen burgers this go round.
I couldn't believe how much this was, man. It went from $18 a tube to $40 a tube.
Okay, that's why I don't have it.
I got about
That's ridiculous.
I figured the hell with it, dude. It's so good. I don't give a damn. But
yeah,
what are you complaining about?
I mean,
what am I complaining about? It's $40.
I splurge. I do splurge every now and then, you know,
At
and
Buc-ee's?
I'll grab. Well, yeah, I get Buc-ee's fudge, and I'll get. I'll buy ribeyes every now and then and stuff like that. But I mean, we eat on the cheap around here. I don't spend a whole lot of money if I can help it.
Hmm.
When I buy groceries in here, you come in here, you won't see no Hershey's or Reese's. You'll see like peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
In the bag.
It's like a white bag with the black lettering. You remember how used to that was the store brand was always like it's like everybody knew it's like, oh, look at that motherfucker's eating the shit in a white bag. You know? Now they at least make it blend in, thank God. So you can get out of there with some good tasting shit that costs half the price without.
Deontay said he thought that was a Rally's burger.
We don't have I don't think we have a Rally's here, but Rally's, if you ever want to sponsor, we will show what your burgers actually look like on here if you want us to, as long as they don't look like the wardenburger.
Yes.
We'd rather have a Steve burger with the ground up prime rib. You know,
Like the way I do it too, man.
Yeah.
I'll take that sucker, I'll throw it in a thing. I'll grab some McCormick's and throw some McCormick steak in there with it.
Oh,
mix
yeah.
it up. And I'll take some Worcestershire sauce. I'll throw that in there. Mix that
Call
up.
it wash your sister sauce?
Yeah, wash your sister sauce.
And then what I'll do is I'll go get some blue cheese crumbles and I'll mix that up in the meat.
I can't do the blue cheese.
Oh, listen now. Hold on now.
Smells like
Hold
ass
on.
crack.
Oh, no. You take that sucker and you throw it on an open flame and you cook it nice and slow.
I don't know about the blue cheese, man.
I'm telling you, because the blue cheese melts in the meat. So you got the cheese in the meat. Okay.
Literally just made
now you take the bacon and you take the bacon and you cook the bacon up on the flame too. And I make my bacon in a round thing. This way you take it, just stick it right on top of that burger, some lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, and that blue cheese makes it all pop. Oh my God, dude, you're in heaven. I'm telling you what.
He just made some shit that Gordon Ramsay would charge $40 for, but he's complaining about $40.
Hey, you know what?
So how long y'all think it would take for us to get up there? Steve, when's that gonna be ready?
As soon as you get here.
It's like a 3 or 4 hour train ride for me.
As soon as you get here, I'll make it up.
Probably like a 2-day trip.
If you thought that cheesesteak I made over Buddha's house was good, I got you covered, buddy. I'll make sure you guys definitely don't leave here hungry.
Yes, Lord. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. I'm going back down there to eat my processed burger from Kroger. And Ace, if you got anything you want to pop in for us to look at any time, just use that channel, that staff channel there, and into the Discord, and we can we can see if we can get to some good stuff. So thank you again for joining us. Stacy, good to see you again. Steve, glad you're at least mobile a little bit, man, and I hope you get to feeling better. I hope they
thank you. I appreciate it.
Hope they can get you in sooner than 4 weeks, though, man, for some pain management.
The good news is that it's on a first come first serve, and there's a cancellation. Then obviously I get that spot, so I might get bumped up. So if that happens, great.
Yeah,
I welcome that.
Well, good. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all. As far as we know, we'll see y'all next week. God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah.
Till next
All right.
week.
Yep. Later,
See ya,
y'all.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen.